Hello, and a very warm welcome to today's show. This show today is going to be a really interesting conversation with my dear colleague, Helen Yii. Helen has joined our team back in August 2018, and she has been working as a counselor in our team since then. I'm really curious to learn how Helen takes her approach to help all these couples that are navigating their fertility journey. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Okay, well, a very warm welcome to the podcast today, Helen. I'm so excited to have you here.
Oh, me too.
It's so great that you took the time to join me. And before we dive into more conversations about what you do and how you came about to become a fertility counselor, I just wanted to ask you, what's your favorite morning ritual in the morning? How do you get yourself launched into the day?
So for me, I will get up about 7 a.m. or 7:30. Then I will just take a cup of tea or coffee, and I will just read a book, for about half an hour. Then have a bit of quiet time for another 10 to 15 minutes before I go to my daily activities.
Wow, that sounds like a really serene start into the morning. I can truly feel it.
Yeah. Because I think it's important just to get my bearings right. And I also like to do some planning, like to see what do I need to do for the day. And just in case I miss out anything. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, studies show how important it is to get yourself on the right foot into the day and to enhance your productivity as well as your focus, your energies, and everything. So it sounds like you're ticking all the boxes here.
Yeah. Of course, certain days I will miss a bit here and there, but I will try my best to achieve that.
Yes, of course. And
Yeah.
it's just life.
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know you yet, Helen, can I just ask you to introduce yourself and share a little bit more about your background?
Yeah. So I'm a Singaporean now. I just received my citizenship recently. I received my musical training at the University of Melbourne and completed a graduate diploma in education after that. And following my university studies, I spent 3 decades in teaching piano. And throughout my teaching career, I've also provided counseling to many students and also including the parents, helping them, coaching them how to navigate the challenges as the children growing up. Additionally, I also help some couples in their relationship issues. Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, it's a bit of family related difficulties, that I tend to navigate to help people in that area.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And I remember when we first met and you were sharing about that you were a piano teacher for so many years. And you were already volunteering back then as helping youth, right?
Yes, yeah. So I have been volunteering in my church community to many individuals and couples, just give them some advice and ideas of what to do and how to cope with bringing up their children. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. That's so beautiful to hear that. Yes, I always feel so inspired by those that are doing volunteering. It's such a beautiful thing and way on how to give back to community as well.
Yes.
So what prompted you or inspired you to actually then eventually move into the fertility counseling space?
Yeah. So that is a very interesting story. Yeah. So, my children, I have 3 children. So my eldest daughter, being girl, she's very talkative and, caring for the mother. And she has been observing me and she is asking me like, Mom, I can see that you are helping a lot in the church, to various people. And then one day she said, do you really know what you're doing? Or is there any other further ways where you can enhance your skills or, your abilities in helping people? So her question has really prompted me to reflect much more in terms of how I can grow in this field. And this helped me to realize that indeed I do need to pursue deeper knowledge. And that's what triggers me to pursue a master's in counseling in Monash University 8 years ago, and to deepen my expertise in this area. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. I was actually looking at the records here, and then I saw that you actually joined us in August 2018. So
Yeah.
coming to 7 years this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. Isn't that just amazing how time is flying?
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
You
Time just
still
flies.
are growing.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How thoughtful of your daughter actually
Yeah.
to
I'm really
inspire you.
surprised.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. She
yes.
was just a teenager at that time. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we should listen to our children, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And also you actually showing what a role model mom can be, right? Because you then took up another master's in counseling to give your career another switch then. It's simply amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
So I know that you are a very compassionate counselor because that's one of your super talents. I think I don't know anybody who is so naturally compassionate like you, Helen, in our team.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And I always mention that, right, with our
Yeah.
conversation. So I was wondering, in your day-to-day work, when you see couples or your clients struggling with the fertility challenges that can sometimes take twists and turns in their life, how do you
Mm.
then ensure that you can bring the same compassion to each of them?
Yeah. So this is a very important question, where the deep, compassionate, and listening ear, which I feel is very important. So I will prioritize a safe and non-judgmental space in hearing them and understanding them. So I have been trying to really exercise to myself in terms of the deep listening, to engage with the client in terms of not just listening to their words, but actually the underlying messages. What are they really wanting to communicate? And even as a couple, when they communicate with me, the husband and wife can speak different language, actually, even the same words. Yeah, the meaning can be different. So I have to be very sensitive to hear them each individually, and
Yes.
then as a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So for those that maybe haven't experienced couple counseling or individual counseling, can you maybe share a little bit more about like what could be benefits for a couple to see you
Mhm.
together, as a couple instead of seeing you one on one?
Yeah, so for couple counseling that I have been conducting, usually for the first session, I will encourage them to do it as a couple. And then subsequently, I'll encourage for individual, session with the wife and then with the husband. And then we will have a co-joint session again for the, subsequent one, probably 1, 2, 3, fourth, the fourth session. Yeah. So this will give each individual an open space to voice their inner thoughts, inner concerns, which will be interrupted if you have your partners there. Yeah. So that we can really dive deep into the issues that they are facing without any interruptions during the individual sessions. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's so important, like what you say, to create that space for them actually to get like a safe place and a confidential space where they can open up about maybe things that they wouldn't do if the partner is sitting next to them.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I think the idea of no interruption thoughts and expression is very important, because our thoughts can be, easily distracted by any kinds of message or ideas that come along the way, and it just block the deep thoughts that is there, and then you can't draw them out eventually, which is a waste of time.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Yes, yes. And what has been your experience so far as working in the space of fertility counseling?
So my experience has been challenging, especially in the beginning. It was not so easy, try to get to know the dynamics of the couple, and to know what are they, really facing, that I could bring some benefits in their couple relationship. So the idea is to really understand and listen carefully, and also to give them space to talk without any judgment. So what I heard from a couple before and the next couple, it can be a same words, but it can mean different things. So always come in with a new set of mind, with a new sheet of thinking, and to help this couple to maneuver in their IVF or fertility journey.
Yeah. And that's so right what you're saying. And it's really down again to really listen very carefully of what they share with you in that moment, isn't it? Yeah. Words can be very, very powerful, but so can silence.
Yes. Yeah. And also sometimes we can also draw them up by asking them questions, more open-ended questions, and to help them to reflect and to see where what would they want to do about it, or is there something that they're unsure or uncertain? So to offer more ideas for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you ever experienced a client that was like adamant to actually wanting to embrace any of these questions or reflections?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I do have clients say, I don't need anything, I'm fine, I'm good. So when such things happen, I respect their privacy or their mindset. I think the idea is to let them know that whenever they feel that they need help, they can always come back again. So I don't really push the button, when they are not ready. And so I respect each individual's mindset and their emotional space at that time.
Yeah.
Because I think counseling is a collaboration effort, and as a counselor, I'm always be there to be ready to listen and not to push someone when they are still thinking. Maybe he or she is still thinking, and they are still having something holding them back, and they are not quite ready to open up or to move forward to make the change.
Yes. And that's simply how respectful it is in that collaboration, right? There is a lot.
Yes.
What are the challenges that you have seen maybe on the mental and emotional side that couples that are on an IVF journey are particularly facing?
So one of the most important or common struggles that couple face is anxiety, particularly around the uncertainties of the outcome of the treatments. We are very goal-oriented. We like to know all the numbers, the results. So inevitably, couples who are drawn to want to know what is happening. Is it successful? Is it good? What is the quality of my eggs or embryos or sperms? Everything. So another important challenges that I face is the grief and loss, especially when they experience miscarriage or failed IVF attempts, or simply just could not get eggs or sperm that the doctor desire. So this can be very disappointing and frustrating for the couples. And at that stage, as a counselor, I can feel like helpless. I can only support them emotionally, but in terms of medically and physically, it's beyond me. It's not within my control. Yes.
So how do you work to help these couples? Do you sometimes also work together with an IVF doctor or with other therapists, together with the client, or?
Yeah. So with such cases, that I will also check in with the doctors as well to see what is the current state, and also to see how my best expertise and skills can match together to help the couple to navigate through this very challenging period of their lives with empathy and practical tools. And the main thing is for the couple during this stage is to just to listen and to engage with them, empowering them, validate their feelings, to know that whatever they feel is true, and that I'm always here to support them. So we'll also highlight communication skills with the couple, that they should not neglect communication. Yeah, so continue to hold each other's hand, whether they go through the mountains or whether they go through the valleys, they should be always behind each other in supporting one another. Yeah. So those will be the main message that I will instill to the couple to go through this stage of their lives. Yeah.
Yes, and it can sometimes be very challenging, especially for men, because all what they feel is like that doctors and nurses and whoever is involved in, and especially in IVF, are talking to their female partner, right? Because it's all about the wife that actually goes through the procedures, she goes through hormone stimulation, she goes through all these medications, and men can sometimes feel be left behind, yeah, and not being
Yes.
part of it.
Yes.
I think that's such an important message that you convey to them, to really like hold each other's hand.
Yes. Yeah, indeed. The men and the women do respond differently due to our biological, emotional, and social factors. Yeah. But nonetheless, I will also highlight this to make them be aware. You'll be surprised. Sometimes they don't even realize why they behave the way they behave, and the fact that we point that out, it will give them a deeper understanding of each other, and that will really help to reduce the misunderstanding, the miscommunication, and even eventually the conflict in the relationship. And this will really help, because especially in the Asian society, women do face a lot of social pressure and stigma in this aspect. And it's very hard for women to express whatever they go through. And also for men tend to be, emotionally distancing. Most of the men, not all the men. Yeah. So sometimes it can be seen as they are not involved, but actually they are involving. It's just they don't know how to do it. Yeah. So, or they are doing in their way, so things like that. A lot of things that we want to bring that out in terms of how men and women behave differently and how we can align together. So I think go through fertility struggles, if we don't understand how men and women behave, it can be a real huge struggles. Yeah.
Absolutely, totally agree. You also mentioned something before about grief and loss. And for many people who maybe are not aware so much about that topic, they would identify grief and loss with the loss of a loved one, as in person or as a pet. But indeed, in infertility, we talk a lot about the sense of loss, not having those follicles that are growing, or not having healthy embryos after a hormone stimulation, or not experiencing a pregnancy after embryo transfer. How do you help clients in, during such a phase when they experience such a deep loss and grief?
Yeah. So when couples are going through this very huge sense of anxiety and uncertainties, our firstly is to acknowledge their emotional feelings that is, really can be roller coaster. One day is good, another day is bad, that kind of feelings. Is to help them to identify and challenge the negative thought patterns, and how we can work together to reduce these feelings or helplessness or the overwhelmed feelings that is around them, using different techniques like cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, or emotionally focused therapy, EFT, or acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT. So various techniques for different strategies for different clients. Yeah. I'll also emphasize the importance of self-compassion and resilience, and to support the clients to be kind to themselves, because we can only know this much things. The universe is much more than what, is beyond us. Yeah. So let go and let the doctors, let the nurses, or any medical team that can come and help you. And also the universe will also help you in enabling you to move through this process. Yeah. So not just look into like with a tunnel vision. Yeah. So the idea is to let go. And another way is to, I will again emphasize the couples, is to encourage open communication between partners. Because I think being supportive of each other in this very challenging journey will help the couples to maintain this relationship, the emotional balance, and that will give them a good, the relationship in growing deeper, That of the relationship is not just subjected to the outcome of the IVF. Yeah. So the depth of the relationship is based on the experiences that both experience together as a couple. So, well, you can say it's easier to say than done, right? Which is true. But this is the truth. Yeah. The truth is that we should hold each other's hand, no matter where we are at. Yeah. And to trust each other, to continue to lean on each other's back. Yeah. During this journey. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Helen. And I can truly see the approach that you are taking into your sessions. Is there a particular experience or a story that is very close to your heart that you may want to share with us?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So in my course of counseling, so many couples, I can't remember how many hundreds. A particularly memorable, meaningful experience for me was when I worked with a couple in their mid-30s who were undergoing IVF. They actually had a first child, and that they are actually planning for the second one. And they have faced years of emotional strain, unable to conceive a second child. And the woman was really shattered when she found out that she was actually dealing with a premature menopause symptoms in her body, which she didn't even realize. So their desire to grow their family was so strong, and that's why they have become very hopeless and isolated to each other. So throughout the session, when I first heard about them, we focused on improving their communication. Yeah, because due to managing work with a child and family stress with expectations, it just didn't do well with the couple's relationship. So I encourage them to foster emotional resilience through couple relationship in terms of communication, and to address their fears, to address their disappointments together as a couple. So we have a few couple sessions together, just to hear the husband's point of view, to hear the wife's point of view, and also to see how they can work together as a team. Yeah. So that took a number of sessions actually to help them to feel more connected. And later on, when she was ready for the embryo transfer, the universe enabled them to have first successful embryo transfer.
Oh,
yes, beautiful. But not long after that, she has many occasions of threatened miscarriages.
Mm.
And that's where she got back to me again. Her fears came back again. So we started to have multiples of sessions going through the months of her pregnancies. Yeah. Yeah. So this journey became even more impactful when through the counseling sessions with the couples eventually enabled them to successfully conceive a child, a baby boy. Yeah. So through this coaching session with this couple, it has just reaffirmed me that how important it is to support a couple during their difficult journey together, and reminded me that I'm so passionate about helping these couples navigating through the complex, very complex time of fertility and emotionally up and down. It's really rewarding. Yeah.
Yes, it really.
It was not easy, but it was really rewarding. Yeah.
Yes. And thanks so much for elaborating into this, because it shows that, yes, the relationship can start off before they actually conceive,
Mm.
through pregnancy as well as after birth, maybe, because some of our clients we continue to see even after postpartum, when they have their baby in their arms, and maybe some of the challenges are new that come to them, or they can change, or just transform.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tanya, I think one of the key things that in my counseling, as I gather my experiences, is that there are three key areas that I'm trying to build with them. Is I summarize as building bridges, creating connections, whether emotionally or giving informations during the counseling sessions. My goal is to help them to move forward through the challenges journey. Yeah. So the three key areas that I would like to build is to connect with oneself, with the past experiences. Okay. Then is to connect with the loved ones. That means the people around them. Yeah. Then the thirdly, which is the connection with the present situations. So each of these bridges needs to be strengthened, and in order for them to successfully able to feel the balance and the clarity as they move forward. Yeah. So this will be sort of my guiding principles in
Yeah.
dealing with my clients. Yeah.
Yes, and thank you so, so much for sharing this. How is it for you, like what you just were sharing now, with dealing also with such an intensity sometimes, and also challenging situations? How do you practice self-care for yourself?
Yes. Yeah. My self-care, yes, is so important. I got asked this question many times, even by my friends, even they're concerned about my work as well. So for me, is to avoid burnout, is I need to be mindful to stay balanced, to prioritize my own self-care. The first thing that I would like to do is to maintain clear boundaries between my professional and my personal life. Yeah. So I take time to decompress and reflect after each session. Yeah. So usually I will just if the session is too intense, I will just sit quietly, or I'll just go out for a walk or listen to music. Yeah. And I also think that engaging in supervision and peer support groups, like what we usually do during a monthly session, which I feel is very useful and helpful in helping me to have my self-care as well. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. And I think it's so, so important, like what you said, to really take the time to reflect and,
Mm.
and to sit quietly, which many people don't do nowadays anymore, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Everybody's so busy.
Yeah.
Yes. What would be your best piece of advice to those that are maybe listening and have been considering about seeing a counselor or not for their fertility journey, in terms of like how they could take the next step?
Yeah. I think if you are considering something and you're unsure whether you should do or you should not do, I would say just do it. Just do it. Because I think counseling can really help you to gain knowledge and also to gain understanding of what is to come. And I feel knowledge is power. Yeah. And you may find out more information that you have never known as well. Yes, AI can tell you a lot of things, but AI can't feel your feelings and feel your emotions, right, Tanya?
Yes.
So I will say, take the first step. The first step is the hardest step. And even if your first step is a wrong step, it's still okay. But at least you try. What if the first step is the best step? And it may encourage you with multiple steps, right? Yeah.
Mm.
So I say, just do it. And seeking help or talk to someone, it doesn't show your weakness. Actually, it's a strength. You need a lot of courage. You need a lot of power to meet someone, to talk to someone. Yeah. So I would say, take your time out, just spend 45 minutes, talk to someone with all the thoughts, questions that you may have, fears that you may have, worries that you may have, and you'll be surprised, how much you can learn and grow or find out, for yourself. Yeah.
And maybe it's also worth sharing at this point that what I usually motivate my clients who are not sure whether or not to take up counseling is to schedule for a discovery call, which is usually free.
Yes.
It's 15
Yes.
where you can connect with a coach or a counselor to see whether there is this magic match. And if there is no, then, just go with someone else. I usually really also motivate my clients to do 2 to 3 such discovery calls because it's super, super important. And we can't emphasize enough on this to find the right person
Yeah.
to partner you.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would be your advice to someone who's maybe listening and has been thinking about a change of career, but hasn't gotten to that final point of decision whether or not to take up a master's in counseling or a diploma in counseling and whether or not to dive into fertility related counseling? Is there anything that you would share from your experience?
Yeah, if you're thinking about doing counseling course, then maybe you should talk to one of us and to find out more. And also maybe to find out ask yourself, why do you want to do counseling and how would that benefit you, in your career or in your life as a whole? Yeah. Yeah. So I think to find out more, to read up more, to talk to people, all these are various ways to confirm your calling.
Exactly. And reach out to us. If you're listening now and you don't know whether or not you should actually do such a transformational switch, then just send us a message or reach out to us, as Helen said.
Yes, yes.
My last question to you, Helen, is like, if you were to have a full day to yourself, what would you do on that day? How would
Wow.
you find it?
That would be my luxury day. Yeah, so I will probably, go to a nature park to walk, because I love nature. I like just the quietness, look at the green trees or a bit of bird chirping somewhere. And then I will, read a book in a cafe with aircon and drink coffee or my favorite food. Yeah. So I think it will be a bit of outdoor, a bit of indoor. Indoor will be do a bit of cooking. I enjoy cooking with the new recipes, whether cookies or bread or something like that. Yeah. So those are my relaxation day.
Wow. Yes. I just wanted to say it sounds super relaxing. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Well, thank you so, so much, Helen, to share your experience, but also your wisdom today and the many, many good and kind thoughts that you are bringing into counseling and touching the hearts of so many people. Thank you for being here today and taking the time.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Tanya. Yeah.
It was such a great honor.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Fertility Counselor podcast. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. If you need support or have any questions, reach out to us via email at inquiries@counselingconnects.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Fertility Connects. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to learn more about us and the services we offer, head to www.fertilityconnects.com. And if you're looking for support beyond fertility, visit www.counselingconnects.com. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.